Hi, this is Makhonas Bokani, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. I want to deal with a topic that speaks about how to know when becoming a people pleaser. How to know when becoming a people pleaser. And I want to deal with part one today. And I hope as a young man, this will help you in life. But I must start by making you aware that in this life, you cannot cope if you are giving it an attention to become a people pleaser. If everything that you do, you want to please people, and you're going to overlook the fact that there are things that you need to do for yourselves. There are things that you need to do not only for yourself, but for God as well. But there are many of us that fall into the trap of becoming people pleaser. In other words, we are doing things purely for the people. But I want to emphasize in advance as well that when you want to please people desperately so, you'll be disappointed in this life because there are people that just don't care. There are people that just not even aware that you're trying to please them. Even though you please them, they may not even recognize that. So therefore, life is very strange because when you're pleasing people, some still don't get pleased. Some still demand from you even when you've pleased them enough. But then you're draining your life out of yourself by pleasing people. And that's something that you have to be aware of as a young man. And that is why we speak about this topic today. And I want to deal with part one today. And I hope that will help you out of this as well. Now, number one, what makes you to see that you're becoming a people's pleaser is when you are desperate for people to like you. You are desperate for people to like you. Can I say this in life that nobody can be liked by everybody? You cannot be liked by everybody. And it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how decent or handsome you look as a young man. It doesn't matter how educated you are and how knowledgeable you are. But you'll surely not be liked by everybody. But when you make it your mission that you want to be liked by everybody, that is actually a sign, and a very dangerous sign, that you are now slowly falling into becoming a people's pleaser. Because as I've said earlier to you, that people's pleasing is very dangerous. When you start to live your life based on how people think, you start to live your life on how people see things. You start to want to live your life on how people see you as well. So therefore, that becomes very dangerous. But desperation for people to like you is something that you cannot be able to dwell on because it is actually going to destroy you. Because as I said, it's not everyone will like you, even though you may actually go out of the way to try to please them. Even though you may try to do everything possible on earth to please everybody or to make people like you, it is just the fact that it's not everybody that will like you. So therefore, desperation for people to like you is actually unfounded. It's basically misplaced as well. So make sure that you don't dwell on wanting people to like you as a young man. Make sure that you affirm yourself, you are actually confident yourself, and you live whether people like you or not. There will be those that like you. There will be those that don't like you. Accept the fact that no one can be liked by everybody in this world. And that's very key. And when you understand that, you'll be able to cope with every situation in life and don't demand to be liked in this world, because that will depress you in the ultimate, because no one can be liked by everybody. Now, secondly, you apologize when you are not even at fault, just for the sake of the people. Now, you will apologize for every single thing in this world because people are silly. People are going to make you feel guilty for things that you never done. People are going to put you on the spot to actually take everything out on you as if it is you who has done something. And when you are a people's pleaser, people want to make you a victim. People want to make you somebody who would actually be their puppet, somebody who would do things and everything for them. Now, be careful as a young man that you don't just apologize for everything. Because there are those things that you're not at fault. So therefore, you're not obliged to apologize for something that you're not at fault with. You need to assert yourself, be clear to the people that think that you're at fault, that you're not at fault. And don't be apologetic, because immediately you become apologetic about everything, then you become subject to those people. Now, as a young man, I want you to be aware of this, that people will use you and make you subject to them. They'll make you to be apologetic about everything, even those things that you're confident in doing, even those things that you know it's not you who have done them. They will actually make you a scapegoat of their own faults and mistakes. And that is why when people know that you apologize for everything, even those things that you have not done, you will realize that people will actually shift the blame every time to you. And you'll forever carry the blame for others, while you yourself have not actually done a mistake. So please, human pleasers are like that, and please avoid to be like that as a young man. Don't apologize for everything, and don't just apologize for the sake of apologizing. Apologize only in areas where you know you're wrong. But I want to also make you aware that where you are wrong, feel bold and strong. Be actually upfront about it. To apologize and say, I'm sorry, because that doesn't make you weak when you say you're sorry in areas where you've done the mistake. But when you've not made a mistake, please don't be apologetic about it, because otherwise you are actually becoming a people's pleaser and you're apologizing for everything. You find that somebody has stepped on your toes. If somebody has stepped on your toes, you start apologizing that, please, sorry about it, my foot just by mistake was put under your foot. I mean, somebody has trampled on you. Somebody has put their foot on top of you. You're apologizing and you're saying it's you who have by mistake put your foot under the foot of somebody. That is totally utter nonsense. And I must really say this, that it is very important as a young man that you rise up to your occasion. You become bold. You face the world with boldness, and you make sure that you become worth living and face the situation. Be apologetic only in areas where you've made a mistake, and don't please people by being apologetic even in things that you didn't do any mistake. And this is very key for you as a young man, and I hope that helps you to develop in becoming a bold person and never just apologize to everyone about things that you are not at fault at all. Now, number 3, you give even against your own will. I have seen a lot of people's pleasers that will actually go out there and give away even things that they still like, the things that they're giving away just because you want to please the people. Now, when people realize that you are people's pleaser, they'll forever demand everything from you, even those things that you're supposed to say no to them. Because you can't just say everything that people are requesting from you, you're giving. No, you're going to make your own decision. You're going to make your own choice on what you can give away and what you cannot give away. And I know of people that are people's pleasers that have actually given away things that they still love, things that they didn't want to give away, but because of pity and wanting to please people, they've given away those things that they've given away, and they now regret. And they're forever complaining that if I didn't give so and so that, I would still be having it and I would be using it for such and such a task. But you have given that and you realize that you've given it against your own will. So please don't give against your own will. Whatever you give, even according to the Bible says God honors people that are giving out of a willing heart. God is actually people that are charitable in their giving. You don't just give because you want to please the people, but you give because your heart is at ease to give. Because when you give charitably like that, and you are a cheerful giver, God blesses you because of that. But when you give against your own will, remember that even the blessing of God, you shall miss it. Now, I want you to be aware that as a woman, as a young man, don't please everybody. Don't just do things to please people. Because also when you try to please people, wherever you are, you're going to be miserable in your own corner. And that's the reason why we find people that are depressed today. Is because they've pleased the people against their own will. they've done and given things away against their own will. They've actually donated things against their own will. Now, because of that, you're miserable at your own corner to an extent of depression as well. So please avoid that and don't become a people's pleaser as a young man. And I want to urge you to make sure that you don't do that. I want to end up here today. Your host, Mike Spokane. Thank you very much for listening to us. This was part 1 of this great topic. And join us as we deal with part 2 tomorrow. And please also subscribe to our YouTube channel to follow up these talks, to follow up these teachings as a young man. And may the good Lord bless you and allow me to say cheers for now.